I was in the. It's not a hospital. It's a surgery center. Excuse me. Trying to see if I can take care of that. They put a camera down my throat again because here's the thing. Okay, this is a little crazy. Like, I have chronic heartburn. I can't imagine why. I keep searching and searching for a way to mitigate the burning pain in my esophagus. Excuse me. The first time I went, they looked down my cake tunnel and they found some polyps and they grabbed them and to send them off to a lab to see if they were cancer polyps and they said like, oh, your digestive system looks great and I can't. What the fuck were they looking for that time? Because then I'm getting so upset just thinking about it. Because I told you last time I was a little upset in the last episode. You might have noticed a tonal shift here. I'm a little calmer now.
Are you? You were on like some pretty heavy duty painkillers they give you for that. Are you still floating on those, or is that over?
I don't feel like it, but they tell you don't make any business decisions today, no matter. That's what they say, which is kind of delightful. I was like, I cancel my calls, Smithers.
Don't call North Korea until tomorrow.
Don't address any Boy Scouts, for God's sake. You might not be in a proper frame of mind to hold the stitching of society together. Mind your P's and Q's, sir. Don't go off on a psychotropic substance stumbling into society. You might end up elected president. All right. Don't have half a brain when you just run out into the street shouting whatever you're feeling. You'll get rewarded for it endlessly and then die while killing everyone. You wouldn't want that, Mr. Harmon. Goodbye. Want some Cheez-Its? They gave me Cheez-Its. That's the one thing is like after you wake up, you're like super high. Like it's great. It's kind of an intimidating thing to be rolled into a room where they don't design surgery rooms to be like, they wouldn't want like fluffy pillows in there and stuff with hair on them. Like the comfort goes hand in hand with non-sterility. You wouldn't want like bean bags in your room or like oil paintings, and the oil's going to get in your body. So it's like a grody, creepy jigsaw room, but clean, but still like sociopathic. And there's beeping, and you can hear your heart beeping, and then when you hear your heart beeping, it starts beeping faster, and then you try to experiment with lowering it because you think you're going to blow their mind and go like, "Who are you?" Beep. You feel like I'm just seeing an eagle in the sky, and then they start this fucking thing through the IV, and they just like this time they didn't even say count down from 10 to 1. Like they were just like they just didn't even give a fuck, and I was just boom, you're out, and I'm like you're instantly awake. Nothing happens. It's not like being asleep where you have like this weird consciousness of time. It's like it's like a cut. And then you're in a different room, and no one else is there because they left your ass because you're boring because you have been knocked out. Like you feel abandoned because you're like, wait, everybody left, but it's like no, we were all here with you. We rolled you like the furniture you are into a corner after we cut some polyps out of your stomach. Fucking chill out. When you start babbling like a maniac, we'll come back and give you Cheez-Its.
Why is Cheez-Its the go-to
I don't know, but why do they follow the bag of Cheez-Its with a lecture about why you're fat? Like, that's the thing. I never said the phrase, you guys gave me the Cheez-Its so many times today because they kept coming in and they're like, you want some Cheez-Its? I'm like, yes. Am I in heaven? And then I'm eating the Cheez-Its and they're like, okay, the doctor will be right in. And then another person comes in and goes like, Mr. Harmon, listen, we didn't find anything in there that's not the result of like, a guy your age having gained your amount of weight. You guys gave me the Cheez-Its. No, I know, sir. I just saying, like, it just kept happening. Like, different people kept coming in.
Did they give you, like, the airport-sized bag of those? Or, like a big...
Just a little baby bag. Yeah. I was I just kind of felt like maybe if I wasn't eating Cheez-Its with crumbs all over my face, that maybe they would have laid off the fat lectures a little bit. Because at least, I'm not saying I would have looked thinner with now Cheez-Its in my hand, but maybe they would have thought, like, well, he must not know that he's fat. Like, for all we know, he started his diet yesterday. Let's not fuck with him too much.
I would say, like...
But they were like, dude, you're fat. I'm like, you gave me Jesus.
Yeah, maybe trail mix. Maybe something not so like fatty, like a cholesterol-y.
Yeah, well, now that you're pitching that, I'm like, fuck, no. That would be awful. That would be awful.
Yeah, I mean, but you would feel like you were in a hospital, not
with trail mix. What would be a good hospital? Like, I don't know. It'd be like a RoboCop paste, you know? They'd be like
applesauce.
Yeah, it would be like in one of those paper containers that when you finish, you can unfold it and turn it into a yarmulke.
But there must be some sort of like scientific reason. Like, is it because the salts, the fats, like the things that you were depleted?
Yeah, I'm sure they like. Yeah, I'm sure they.
Or it's just
big Cheez-It.
Big Cheez-It's fucking involved.
Yeah, they got like defibrillators with the Cheez-It brand defibrillators.
Yeah.
Their stationary is like Cheez-It stationary. You're like, what's going on here?
And you leave your hospital that you called not a hospital, and you realize that you were just at Nabisco the whole time.
You look back and because you hear one squeaky hinge, and you look back and the stagehands are hoisting the flat. It's like God, it's in a giant box of crackers. I was in the Keebler elf tree, and they were all on stilts.
I told you I went under general anesthesia once for my wisdom teeth, and I woke up and something horrible had happened. Like there was a footprint on my chest, and my belt was off.
I've been under.
And the doctor wasn't there, and I asked the woman, like the nurse, I was like, "Where is the doctor?" He's like, he left. I'm like, when? She's like, a couple hours ago. I'm like, so like, did all my teeth come out okay? She's like, it was a struggle. My belt was off. I went to sleep with my belt on, I tell you, fucking for sure. And then she showed me my teeth in a cup, and it looked like they had gone hammer and chisel on those motherfuckers. Because they had. And then I go home, and my friend drove me home, because you have to have somebody to drive you home, because you're high as a kite. And I go to the, I go home, I have to get my my prescription card. Have I ever told this story before on the show?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
That's what we've both gotten.
I have. Early on? Come on.
What'd you think, though? It's kind of like Gremlins 2. You want to see it again. You're not sure. You're like, wasn't there like a trans gremlin in that movie that like transitioned and like was like kissing other gremlins? I can't remember. I think we need to watch it again.
I think the only funny part for me was that I went to go get my insurance, like my prescription card. And then while I was up there, it was so high, I thought, I'm going to take some trash out. So I threw my prescription card out with the trash.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you do. Yeah, that's funny.
And then I get to the place, and now the painkillers are wearing off. I'm dying. We had to go figure out where my thing was, and I was just now not high enough to remember to dig through my trash and find the fucking thing.
Yeah, that's why they wouldn't let me take an Uber from the place. Also, they said it's sexist and that you should take a Lyft, but... they wouldn't let me take an Uber because they were like, oh, you have to be like a limo service that we have a relationship with, and I'm like, okay, the Cheez-It transit company maybe, Cheese Wheels.
Your car is shaped like a
fucking wheels are square. It's gets shitty mileage.
Shaped like a Triscuit.
So the salty Rover.
They shouldn't be giving you fucking Cheez-Its after you've had a surgery. That's crazy.
Well, look, if the customer's always right, man. I think at that point they're like, we put a camera down your throat, you survived, eat one bag of crackers.
Did you get to see the camera? Do you get to look at the apparatus before it goes down your gullet?
They don't show you I'm sure I could have asked.
I don't think they probably want you to see it though.
I was kind of like, I could have asked this time because I kind of like, this was like my third time going, you know, I had a endoscopy, and then I had a biopsy for the sarcoid thing, and then this was my second time going under in a lightweight, you know, so like this isn't even like surgery, this is just like a thing. So I was fucking Bill Murray in that shit. I was like, they're wheeling me in, I'm like, hey Glenda, how's it going? Still looking good? My name's Diane, and that isn't funny anymore. Just pointing at women and sexualizing them. That was you were a hero in the '80s if you did that. Sorry, I'm 44. I know. I've seen your X-rays. But they like, you know, Doctor, what's his fuck? He's like, hey Dan, welcome back. I said, it's good to be back. I was like a real charmer. You know, but I got like a hairnet on, I'm laying down, I'm like, it's good to be back. I'm like, this guy thinks he's in some kind of lounge. Yeah, I was cool, man. I wasn't getting a lot of laughs, but I was like funny. I just think doctors, like, I wouldn't want them to be cracking up because then it'd be like, these guys are shakeable. Like, I don't want that. They're focused on their craft, but I know I was being funny. I'm sure they probably have like an orientation video where they're like, look, some of your patients, you're in Los Angeles, some of your patients are going to be crack-ups, you know? Like, they're going to be talented people, like crazy geniuses, you know? Some of them are going to have a gift for moving the human heart. You gotta, trust me, as much as it seems like they would love for you to break into gales of frivolity, as much as it would be involuntary, truly, given their hilarity, acumen. Just keep a stiff upper lip. They probably do things like, you know how, like, soldier guys, like, they,
or soldiers.
They like, why did I? The only thing I'm like, I'm gonna try to make this specific. I'll just make them men.
You went way out of your way to make them only men.
That was the final result. That was not the intention. I was like, God, come on, Tom Clancy, do it. Soldier guys. Now it sounds like you've been in the military.
Also, when you said surgery room,
infantry. I was searching for infantry and came up with soldier guys. You can't turn soldier into infantry. It's soldier infantry. You'll sound like an idiot. I went soldier guys. I fucking saved it. In their training, one of the things they have to do, or so I've seen in movies, is that they expose you to tear gas, right? Like, or, you know, whatever you're using on other people. They're like, take off your gas mask. Yeah, you've seen that scene in the movies, and you gotta like sit there and take the fucking tear gas. They probably do. They have to do that with comedy in the operating room.
They have to hear all the dumb, semi-sedated jokes that they're going to hear.
Yeah, they have to watch like season 2 of Community. I was gonna, when I started that sentence, I was gonna say like the British Office, but then I was like, I think that was one season, and then I was like, do Parks and Rec, and then I was like, fuck it. Write what you know.
I've stolen a line that Greg Proops uses every time for the last 30 years at his dentist he's been going to forever. And every time he gets in the chair, every time the dentist asks him, are you comfortable? And Greg always says, I make a living. That's always a goodie. But it's funnier if you're an old Jewish comic.
I said, here's a little exchange I had. I'm no Greg Proops, but he said, welcome back. I said, it's good to be back. And he said, how are you feeling? And I said, great. I just had a huge sandwich. And because you're not supposed to eat for like 8 hours. Because they're going to go in there. And he's like, oh, thanks for telling us. I said, look, if you found a sandwich in the bathroom, you'd eat it too.
These are good jokes.
Yeah.
These are good jokes.
And they're stone-faced. And it's not because I'm not funny, it's because they're good doctors. They want me to stay alive, make more people happy.
Why don't we make your next HBO special just you on a gurney? And you're really letting the doctor staff have it.
Yeah.
You're making light of what could potentially be a fatal thing that's going on here.
I could. They always have to tell you. They feel like they got to tell you. There's like a 0.01 chance you'll wake up and choke on the camera and die. Isn't that crazy that they put a camera down your throat and like if you were to wake up, it's exactly like Wile E. Coyote, like when he runs off the edge of the cliff. As long as he doesn't just fucking stay in the zone, Wiley. Like you could just, the time it took for you to mug to the camera and hold up a sign that says "Yikes," you could have made it to the other cliff. You can technically fly. You just have to be less self-aware. If you have a camera down your throat, they can just churn you like a butter bucket.
Churn you like a butter bucket.
They can just churn you like the fuselage on a butter churn. But if you were to wake up, simply wake up, you'd be like, and you'd immediately die. Because there's a camera down your throat, because if you were in a bar fight, that's a way to kill you. You have a bar fight in like an AV room. Like a bar fight with like filmmakers.
Why was my belt off, and why didn't they put it back on? Wouldn't they want to? What message were they trying to send me? Like, no, leave it off. Leave it off. I want him to know exactly what the emotional crisis I went through.
See, if the doctor was in the room, it would just be like kind of like, oh, was I? It's like it's almost not funny because it's just sort of like, oh, what happened? But the fact that the doctor's gone makes it funny to me because it's like there's this story happened that he was like, I need some space, and then she's like,
I want to start sexually assaulting other patients.
It's like ordinary people now. Like she's trying to hold it together, and like, where did the doctor go? He'll be back when you have calmed down.
Yeah, yes, he's staying at Shutters for 3 weekends.
She's like, he'll be back later, and then she's like cleaning some tools, and then like 20 seconds goes by, and she goes, he's a good doctor, and he works hard. And you're like, what the fuck? So he's allowed to to play with my dick? Is that what you think happened?
But then the thing that they tell you, like when you're getting, I had all 4 wisdom teeth out way too late in life, and they said that there's a chance that and stop me if I've talked about this before, there's a chance that you'll perforate the sinus bone up here above your teeth. And I remembered signing that thing. And if it happens, it's not a big deal. Your bone will regenerate. It'll be a thing. I don't remember that after the thing because I'm drugged out of my mind. The next morning, I get up, rinse my mouth out. Like you're not supposed to like spit and do anything violent with your sinuses.
Oh God!
And I lean forward, and everything in my mouth poured out of my nose because there's a hole in my face. And now everything. Then I was eating some miso soup. And that night, I leaned over to get more miso soup, and the miso soup that was currently in my mouth went back into the bowl.
You're like a Muppet. You're like the Cookie Monster. This motherfucker don't like cookies.
I was a fountain. And then I freaked out, and I was I called the doctor, and he's like, "Remember that we had this big conversation? And it's gonna be fine." I go, "What do I do?" He goes, "Just don't sneeze for 2 months." Fuck you. Where's my Cheez-Its?